Good morning, dear students. We are studying about the changing role of the public sector, and in that, the first point is that development of infrastructure. The first duty or the first role of the public sector is to develop the infrastructure. Development of the infrastructure. True. The development of infrastructure is a prerequisite for industrialization in any country. In the pre-independence period, basic infrastructure was not developed, and therefore industrialization progressed at a very slow pace. The process of industrialization cannot be sustained without adequate transportation and communication facilities, fuel and energy, and basic and heavy industries. The private sector did not show any initiative to invest in heavy industries or develop in any manner. They did not have trained personnel or finances to immediately establish heavy industries, which was the requirement of the economy. So, soon after the independence or before the independence, there was no any infrastructural development was not there. Okay, so there was no proper roads, transportation facilities, communication facilities. So all these type of things were not developed because Britishers were there, and when they were there, their purpose was not to develop India. Their purpose was to develop maximum, however possible way, they have to produce some things and mostly absorb the things from our country and take it to their country and develop their country. That was their main purpose. But also we can say that there was some of the roads and some of the railway lines, all these type of things are made by them for their own benefits. But that was not created in a way that it will be beneficial for us. So such kind of things were very much necessary, like creating transportation facilities, communication facilities, and basic industries. All these things are very much necessary. Like if you want to start a company, then a lot amount of raw materials are required. So extractive industry, all these type of things are very much like primary industries we have studied. All these type of primary industries are very much necessary. So if those industries are not there, then other industries also cannot function because they are not going to get the raw materials. Okay, and the main is like primary industries of all these type of activities require huge amount of investment. So the private individuals or the private companies were not ready to invest in this much very huge amount of money and take this, like it also require long gestation period. It is not that easy that just by making a product and selling, like a road construction. If you just imagine, the construction of the road requires a huge amount of money, and if we have, even if the government, if private companies are making the road, then if they are collecting toll, then also it will take many years to get the money back. Okay, so such a way, this is a very long gestation period is there, and that is why the private individuals or private companies were not ready to invest money into this, and this became the duty of the public sector to invest money into the development of infrastructure. It was only the government which could mobilize a huge capital, coordinate industrial construction, and train technicians and workforce. Rail, road, sea and air transport was the responsibility of the government, and their expansion has contributed to the pace of industrialization and ensured future economic growth. So this became the duty of the government to spend money on this one. Huge capital required, where they have to make like a road, rail, sea and air transportation. See, like making an airport or railway lines. So this type of job, it is not necessary for a private company, and if it is not possible also. Okay, so like making an airport is not possible by the it is possible now, but at the time in the initial stages this was not possible, and also even the airline companies and so on. So starting flights, purchasing flights and running. Now there are so many private companies that are running flights, but earlier it was not possible for an individual or private company to start. This one was not possible. So became the responsibility of the government to take initiative in these kinds of activities. The public sector enterprise were to operate in certain spheres. Investment were to be made to some of the following things. Give infrastructure to the core sector, which requires huge capital investment, complex and upgraded technology, big and effective organization structure like steel plants, power generation plants, civil aviation, railways, petroleum, state trading, coal, etc. So it became the duty of the government company or the government to start investing huge money on the these type of businesses. Okay. So the private companies were not in a position to, or private individuals were not in a position to start up such kind of huge companies where a huge amount of money or capital is required and huge procedures are there. So such type of businesses such as steel plants. So starting a steel plant is requires very huge amount of money. Power generation plants. So if like power generation plants are also there. See, like if you want to start a hydroelectric project, it is not very easy, and the business or private people, they are not going to get much benefit by this one. See, like if they are generating power and distributing power into a village, and if some as a private company is running this one, and if they are asking for electricity bill and people are not ready to pay the money, and you also just to see, like if for one person in a month maybe paying some 200-300 rupees, and by paying this much money, crores of rupees are required for making this power generation plants, and just collecting 200-300 rupees from people, it is not possible to run the business like that. Okay, so even there are so many people, and they will be getting money, but collecting this much money, distributing power, all these type of things are not possible by a private company. So the government has to take initiative in these kinds of activities. Civil aviation, railways, petroleum, and state trading, coal, etc. So these type of businesses, the initiative was to be taken by the government only. Give a lead in the investment to the core sector where private sector enterprises are not functioning in the desired direction, like fertilizers, pharmaceuticals, petrochemicals, newsprint, medium and heavy engineering. So these in some kind of companies where the some kind of business activities were there, where private companies also were running, but they were not in the proper direction. Okay, so it was the necessary of the government to start up the business and lead them in the correct path or correct ways. So that was also another important activity required. And next is the give direction to the future investment like hotels, project management, consultancies, textiles, automobiles, etc. So this is also another duty of the government, was to provide them direction to start up businesses like this, or just giving them, helping the private individuals or private companies to start businesses in the this type of activities. Okay, so these are the main duties of the government, or we can say that the responsibilities or role of the government in the infrastructural development. There are also other points that we will discuss in the next classes. Okay, thank you so much.